Hi everybody, you find us parked up today in Scotland in a little town called Dumfries. Now this river, you can see how we parked. I think it's maybe one of the best parkings we had. This river is, I think, the 7th to largest river in Scotland, and also it's a tidal river, so it actually, this water I think is going to be salty because it fluctuates with the rising tides and receding tides. But that bridge over there, I'll talk about it a little bit later on. It's a famous bridge here, and I'll speak a lot more about that a bit later on. But there's a few things we want to do. We're going to start our Southwest 300 from here, which is known as the starting point. And we slept here last night. That was really nice. Beautiful weather. So, and of course down the bottom there, I'm just going to point my finger somewhere over there. There's a little pub. It's one of the oldest pubs. Well, I think it's the oldest pub here in Dumfries. And talking about old buildings, that building over there on the end of the bridge, let me just, again, I'll try and zoom in for you. That little house that we're looking at there, that's actually a museum now, but it used to be a lodge, and it is very, very old as well. I think it rates as one of the oldest houses here in Dumfries. But as I said, it's now a little museum. Okay, so what we're going to do, there's a few things I want to show you and talk about. So we can do a bit of walk and talk. What did you think of the park up?
Oh, it was perfect.
Nice.
It was nice and quiet. It was park safe.
Yeah. There was about 6 or 7 other camper vans here.
Yeah. And then since we had that music, also that Pink Floyd tribute last night, that was super.
We could hear they had a tribute there. It wasn't loud at all. It just,
no, it was just right.
Just yeah. We were going to
warm as well, so we could have keep the door open.
Yeah. But you can see there were a lot of camper vans all the way down here. They've all left. Obviously, I would imagine most of them are starting that same route we're going to take. Now, where I want to go, we have to cross here. I like to speak to the locals. I was just chatting to a local this morning, and I spoke to 2 locals yesterday, because that's where you get all your information from, and they know everything that's relevant to where they're living. Some of them have been living here for a long time. Now we checked out here because we were a bit worried, but you can, and Sundays there's no limit on parking. During the week, from Monday to Saturday, it's a 2-hour parking, and you can't obviously come back after 2 hours, so one has to be a bit careful there. But that sort of get to that church. We'll go up here. Okay, now we've come up that street and we've found this church here. Okay, it's a beautiful old church. Now this church, which is Grey Friars Church, something happened here that definitely influenced the Scottish history. I don't know if you can or know what it is. I'll give you a few minutes to think about it. Okay, and another thing, this church, where it is today, is not actually sitting in the same spot it originally was.
It was over there, they say, where the bus stops were, so around this area.
Okay, so where Greg's is.
Where Greg.
Yeah, so the church used to be situated there, then it was rebuilt over here. Now this deed that happened, this thing that happened, which was quite violent, Robert the Bruce and his arch rival, which was John Coleman, they were in the church together, and evidently Robert Bruce pulled a knife out of his tunic and stabbed John Coleman, and that was the end of John Coleman. And we know that Robert the Bruce went on to become the king, but the thing was they were rivaling for the Scottish crown, and it rekindled the whole fight for independence, and they finally won. The Scots won at the Battle of Bannockburn in 1314. So that was a bit of history. I hope it didn't come across a bit muddled. Let's just get across this road. It does have a lot of history. It goes back, I'm not too sure, I don't think they really know just when this town was started. I think it was about 1000, I don't know, somewhere around that. I'm not too sure, I might be totally wrong. Okay, now, who knows who this is? I'll give you a hint. A famous, well, today anyway, poet. And he lived here in, well, in fact, he lived in the town of Dumfries for about 3 years prior to his passing. Okay, this is Robert Burns, and it stands right opposite where the church is. So Robert Burns, he stayed in this, lived in this town. He was, as I said, he passed away, I think, at the age of 37. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to move on, and I would like to actually take you to the spot where Robert Burns was actually buried. So let's see if we can find that. This is the pub that Burns frequented, and it says here 1610, but there's his picture up there. And it's called the Globe, and let's go. This is go down this little alleyway.
It's a little bit sketchy.
You think so? Mm-hmm. Well, maybe at night time it might be, but gee, that's okay. Yeah, I'll have to ask, rather than Google, I prefer to actually ask people.
But there's a lot of people that
normally they're very helpful.
There's a lot of people that don't really know in this town here.
Okay, this is the, I think it's closed. But it might, I don't know.
Oh, 1610 to 2010, so maybe they're closed.
Yeah, I know. It's, that must be something else. There was a meeting place for people, and I think it was during that time they used this spot. But there's the Globe, and this was the pub that Robert Burns frequented. If you watch Timmy's short that we just put up, I asked a few questions there, and if you listen to the music,
You can see a little bit.
it's okay, darling. If you listen to the music that I put on there, it's actually making reference to one of his poems that he wrote. Okay, this fountain in front of me, and which is just behind Annette where she's sitting. This has been beautifully restored, and it didn't always look like this. It had become quite neglected. Now, quite interesting thing is, and I think there's a connection. There's a lot of information on it, and I haven't really gone into it. But this area of Dumfries, it was struck by a cholera epidemic, and there were over 800 people became ill, and over 400 of them died in Dumfries, and it had a lot to do with the water that was being the people were drinking here. So evidently the water was then brought down from somewhere else, which helped sort that problem out. But of course, and I think this fountain here had some connection with that. But that's just another little piece of interest. Annette is falling asleep in the sun. Shall we move? Now there's a few other places I won't tell you until we get there. It's going to a little bit of a walk from here. But yeah. We'll head down that way. Okay, the Jacobites uprising. That was in I think it was 1745. Now this old house, well, this building here, it's called Waterstones now. There it is. It used to be a hotel called the Old Country Hotel. Now I believe, oh, there we are. I've been asking so many locals and they haven't been able to help me. There we are. There it is. Good. Ronnie Prince Charles Edward Stewart. I've asked so many people, local people, and nobody knew. No one knew about this. I'm actually going to go inside now. I'm not going to film, but I'll go inside and I'm going to ask them if that room is still here. I'll come back to you guys.
We stayed here on the way to Culloden, I believe.
Culloden, yes, yeah. Where they came terribly short, yeah.
Yeah, so things weren't going well.
Yeah.
And apparently the people in town weren't very welcoming, and he actually fined the town.
Where did he get the shoes? He took shoes from somebody as well.
Shoes from Dumfries, the people at Dumfries.
Dumfries, 255 pairs or something like that, yeah. Took their shoes. Was that for his troops? More likely, I don't know. Yeah.
It was like a fine for not being helpful.
And £1,000 or something, yeah. In those days it was a lot of money, yeah. Boniface just stayed in this building in roughly this position. That was his room, but it's changed over time now. But yeah, it was very interesting. I really appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
To see the painting.
Yeah.
I would have used to later.
So it was very much like the other board when we were down in York. We went and looked at the board.
Yeah, you can see that there.
That's really nice. I'm so happy we found it. We really asked a lot of people, but at last we found it. Okay, I'll pick up with you guys outside. Okay, we're in Burns Road, and here we are. This is where Robert Burns spent 3 years of his life, where he passed away at the age of 37, and this is the Burns house. Okay, now just up the road from the house, Burns house, there's this statue, and it's of Burns's wife, Robert Burns's wife. That must be with one of his children. I know he had quite a few children. 1765 to 1834. Now, I want to go across and have a look there. So we're going to I'm going to wait for Annette to come up. She was just taking some photographs, and then we'll cross over and we'll meet you at the church. Okay, just while we're waiting for Annette, she's coming now. Another snippet of information. The famous ship, the Titanic. On board there was the band that played as the boat went down, and one of the band members, I believe he played the violin, he was from Dumfries. So yeah, that's just a little snippet. And I think there was somebody else as well, not part of the band though, but as I said, this gentleman, I'll get his name and I'll put it up. This gentleman was part of the band that played while the boat went down. Okay, here we are at St. Michael's Church, and this is where Robert Burns was laid to rest. Okay, they just spotted something there. Well, Robert Burns is buried in a single grave here on the 25th of July 1796. In 1815 his remains were removed to a vault under the mausoleum erected to his memory. Okay, so evidently he had been laid to rest just in a corner of the churchyard, and then they later exhumed his body and brought the mausoleum. This is the little churchyard. Yeah. Gee, there's some huge stones here. It's like a needle, looking for a needle and a haystack. Yeah, Timothy spotted something. You're right, Timmy, well done. This pedestal contains a plan showing position of the graves of the friends of Robert Burns. So there we are.
That's what the blue ones are. I saw another one down here.
Okay. So we've got the map. Well spotted, Tim. The original grave of Robert Burns is number 46. Now, I think we came in here, and we're over here now. So we've got to walk down, and number 46. 46. Yes, they said it was in the corner. There it is there. They said it was in the corner of the graveyard. So we can see they're all made out of this red stone.
Look at this one, just.
Yeah, it's broken. But the red stone just deteriorates with time. They haven't used the granite. There, well, there's the mausoleum. Some other people have found it.
There's
and this
another
is
one, his friends.
Yeah, these are the blue ones, like Annetta said, are the friends. So they've marked all his friends that passed as well. Shame, it really is, it's just collapsing.
Some of these stones must weigh tons. Like
Yeah,
this
I
one
mean,
here.
this is it's a huge
Only
one.
that one.
Yeah, it's one of his friends as well.
It's so beautiful, all these old big
Yeah.
stones.
And this is the same stone that house of his was built out of, that red stone. Now, we must be getting to the corner.
Do you see the black thing on the...
Yeah, there's something there. And this is right in the corner.
I think you can get into here. Yeah, it's one of his friends again.
Okay. Can you read on that? I'm sure this is the one.
It says here on the black one.
Robert Burns. Yeah.
Part of original grave of Robert Burns.
Yeah, so it's this corner one.
That's, yeah, the one.
Yeah.
That's,
So that's where Robert Burns was laid to rest. Okay guys, I hope you have enjoyed that. And
but wasn't he moved over to the...
yes, they exhumed his body. They left that and took his body across. Okay, I spoke to you early on and I mentioned about telling you more about this bridge. Now, it's called Devogilla Bridge, and it's made out of this red sandstone. I just hope you can hear me over this sound of the water. Now, we're going back to about, I think it was 1270, Devogilla ordered this wooden bridge to be built across this river, and they needed quick access into Dumfries from the Galloway base. And it says that she was in the process of building a monastery here in Dumfries. Now, her husband passed away, and it is said that she carried his heart in a little casket right until the day she died, where it was buried with her. Now, she was obviously a very powerful woman, and the wooden bridge, which was put here in 1270, was later replaced by a much stronger structure made of stone, this red stone. Yeah, so it was made of this red stone, and it was around 1432. And this bridge had to be rebuilt again in 1621 due to severe flooding. And one single Gothic arch at the western end of the bridge still remains from this time. So it has been through quite a bit, and like I mentioned, this river is actually a tidal river, so when you get very high tides and of course heavy rains, this water will actually come right over where this railing is and flood back right there towards those shops. So I hope that clears that one up. As I say, it's not used for traffic. It's a pedestrian bridge. You just walk over it. And of course, at the other end of it is the very old, one of the oldest houses in this area, which is now no longer a house, but a little museum. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed that, and I think that brings it to a conclusion of Dumfries. And tomorrow we're going to be moving on. This is just the start of our southwest coast 300. Okay guys, hope you enjoyed that, but we'll see you in the morning.
See you in the morning.
Okay.
Bye bye for now.
Cheers.